Hey, what's happening, guys? Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Rules for Rebels. What I wanted to talk about today was kind of issue a little bit of a warning or give you guys a heads up about investing money of your friends and family into crypto. This is something that I see coming up a lot in subreddits, on Bitcoin talk. People have mentioned this to me in comments and things like that. And it's always something like, you know, my dad wants to give me $1,000 to invest into crypto, or my Uncle Jim wants to give me $1,000 to invest in crypto, or, you know, my neighbor's Aunt Betty wants to give me $15,000 to invest in Ripple. And in a lot of these circumstances, the people who want to get started investing in crypto, they don't want to open up their own exchange account. They don't want to set up wallets. They just want to give you money and have you do it for them. And this is a huge no-no. It's something you definitely don't want to do. And I'll tell you why. It seems like most of the people who are asked to do things like this, they don't really know why they shouldn't do it, but they're kind of uneasy about it. And there's a couple reasons you don't want to do this. One of the first and kind of most glaring reasons is if you're dealing with a fiat exchange like a Gemini or a Coinbase. You know, right now there's kind of a gray area with them reporting to the IRS, but I can guarantee you that down the road they will be issuing 1099s and they will be reporting your trading activity to the IRS. Now, if you're trading $50,000 or you cash out $50,000 and then you also wind up putting a friend or family members into your money into your account and you cash out 50 grand for them, well, now Coinbase is going to be telling the IRS that you cashed out $100,000. You have the tax liability for that $100,000. And your friend's probably going to expect their 50 grand back, and they're not going to understand that you need to take out 30% for taxes, or if it's a long-term 15% for capital gains taxes. They may not understand that, or you may neglect to collect that from them, and then when a tax man comes knocking, you're paying the capital gains taxes for your friend, your family member, your coworker, whoever it may be. And not only that, even if these guys agreed, okay, I'll give you 15% of it for capital gains, that may potentially bump you up into a different tax bracket. So I forget what the tax brackets are, but, you know, depending on your income for the year, you're put into a certain tax bracket. Now, you know, I think one's like up to 100 grand, another one's, you know, 150, 300, whatever it may be. Somebody else's money coming, you know, if you're trading with somebody else's money, that potentially could bump you up into a higher tax bracket to where, you know, and again, I'm probably inaccurate on the tax brackets, but instead of paying 23% income tax, you're now paying 28% because your friend or family member or coworker's trading activities bumped you up into a higher tax bracket. So even if they cover their taxes, they're costing you money on your day job, any side hustles you have, and your trading. So that's probably the main reason you don't want to do this. Another reason is, what if the exchange that you're, I mean, probably unlikely, but what if the exchange you're trading on gets hacked? What if not even the exchange gets hacked, but what if just your personal account gets hacked? Now you're kind of responsible for losing, you know, Aunt Betty's money, and she's going to be upset with you. And one of the other things about investing for friends or family members, if things go well and you make them money, at most, what are you going to get? A pat on the back? You know, if that. It's not like they're going to be, here's 20% of what I made. Thank you so much for showing this to me. No, like, they're not going to give you money. At most, they may say thanks and give you a pat on the back. So you really have very little, if nothing, to gain. On the flip side, if the account gets hacked, if whatever you tell them to buy goes down, well, guess what? Now they're going to be upset with you. Even though they said, I promise I won't be mad at you if I lose money, I guarantee you they're going to be upset with you if they lose money. It's kind of funny. My dad had been pestering me for a long time to buy him some Bitcoin, and he's like, I got like 50 grand sitting in my retirement account. I want to put it into Bitcoin. And had I done it for him, he actually would have made a lot of money. But I knew that he didn't really have the stomach for kind of the crypto space and the ups and downs and things like that. So I told him, I said, look, I'll buy you one Bitcoin. I bought him one Bitcoin at like $4,500. I think that's right at the time that all the China FUD was happening. So Bitcoin went from like $4,500 down to what's like $3,200 or something. And my dad's like, oh, Johnny, what did you get me into? So what did I get you into? You wanted me to buy 50 grand worth for you. I said, you're only in for $4,500. And when I bought it for him, I bought the Bitcoin from a buddy of mine who runs a gaming site. So he actually sold it to me for $200 or $300 under market value. So my dad actually started out already up a couple $100, but as soon as it went down, oh my gosh, what'd you get me into? And then when it winds up going back up, and, you know, all in all, I bought him some Bitcoin, some Litecoin, and some Ethereum. And all in all, when everything wound up going back up, my dad wound up making about 15 grand over the course of a month. And then he's telling me, well, why didn't you have me invest more? And then one day he had me come over to his house. This is back when Litecoin was like $400. Ethereum, I think, was $800. Bitcoin was pretty high. And he had me sell most of his holdings. I sold all of his Litecoin. I sold all of his Ethereum. And as I was selling it for him at his request, he said to me, he's like, oh, actually, I should say, I told him, I'm like, are you sure you want to sell it all? Why don't you, take out 3/4 of it and leave a little bit in there to let it ride? And I kind of misspoke on the price. I think my dad sold at $250 Litecoin. Litecoin wound up continuing to rise to $400. But, after Litecoin continued to go up, my dad's, Johnny, why'd you sell that? Why'd you tell me to sell? I said, I didn't tell you so. I told you not to sell it all. So, you're always going to be the one to blame. People are always looking for somebody to blame when they lose money. It's not that, not that they're bad people or anything. It's just, people's kind of natural reaction. So that's kind of why you don't want to invest for friends or family members. If somebody has an interest in cryptocurrency, if they want to get involved, I don't see anything wrong with you telling them, look, this is a risky space. You can lose your money. You generally don't want to keep your money on exchanges. Here are what I think are some of the most reputable exchanges. I like Coinbase and I like Gemini for fiat. For altcoins, I like Bittrex and Binance. Tell your family members or friends that, look, if you want, I'll help you set up an account. I'll sit there with you and I'll kind of walk you through setting up the account. And really, nobody can be mad at you for showing them the technology behind it, right? That's not giving investment advice. And we're not even talking in terms of like legal stuff, just in terms of like making sure your family members or friends or coworkers don't get pissed at you. So look, I'll show you how to set up the exchange. I'll walk you through how private wallets work, or how private keys work. If you want to buy a Trezor or a Ledger, I'll help you set that up. And when it comes to actually picking coins and things like that, I would tell people like, look, here's what I'm invested in. Here's the reasons I like these things. I would suggest you do some research, read about them, understand the tech behind them. And if anybody's like, well, no, I just want to give you $500. Look, if you want to have this much of a hands-off stance on crypto, maybe this isn't for you. Or if you do want some exposure to crypto and you don't want to have to do anything, well, maybe you should go invest in HIT BTC, or not HIT BTC, in GBTC, the fund that is supposed to track the performance of it. Like, maybe you should go do one of those. Because with crypto comes a lot of responsibility, and I've actually had friends and family members who have told me like, oh, let me give you $1,000 and just like trade for me, because they've seen me making some money, and okay, can you do this for me? And even a good buddy of mine recently asked, and I told him, I said, look, I said, what? I said, I'm just not really comfortable managing somebody else's money. But furthermore, I said, what? I said, because this is your money and not, my money that I put in, I don't want to lose it, but I'm willing to lose it, and I'm going into it with that attitude. When I'm trading with somebody else's money, I think it's going to change my psychology. Like, rather than going to make smart investments and make money, I'm probably going to be a little bit more timid, right? Like, oh, this isn't my money. I don't want to lose it. Like, do I really want to go all in on this coin, or do I really want to do this? And I think it would change my whole trading mentality, and I think that might cause me to accidentally lose money for them. So yeah, just a really, really bad idea to commingle funds. Don't mix your friends, families, coworkers' money with your money for tax reasons, as well as it's just a huge added responsibility on you. And then furthermore, be very, very careful when it comes to suggesting coins to people. I've shared coins with some friends and stuff that have made them a lot of money, but at the same time, one bad pick and now you're responsible for their portfolio being down 50%. So just a word of advice for you guys. Let me know if you've done something like this and had a bad experience. I know I've seen a couple of Reddit posts where people have kind of invested for friends or family members, and things go south and it winds up causing a rift between them. So that's my advice. If people have a genuine interest, help them get started, help them get exchanges started, help to educate them, right? John McAfee kind of described cryptocurrency as a fraternity where you almost need a friend or family member to kind of hold your hand and walk you through it. So it's fine to do that, but don't take money from somebody, put it in your account and trade for them. Only bad things can happen doing that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later, guys.